Hello, this is Brian, your friendly neighborhood Twin Cities bass angler in the metro area. Today it's in the morning. It's about a little past 8 o'clock. Been out since about 6:30. The water temperature is in the mid 70s. Today I was just kind of doing a little topwater thing, throwing one of my favorites. This is the Megabass Pop Max in the pumpkin seed color. I like this bait for a lot of reasons. One, it's big, so sometimes you get some bigger bites. Two, when you walk it, it tends to roll on its side, which gets the hooks up a little bit. So I noticed that unlike a lot of some of the other poppers I use, this one seems to grab a little less weeds when you're dragging it over kind of some thick milfoil. This lake I'm on today is heavy in milfoil, and the bass love to just stack in it. And I've been fishing this thing on the backside of a lot of the weed lines. Sometimes I fish the front, sometimes I fish inside the weeds, and then sometimes I fish the back. And I've been going around and looking with my sunglasses, and I'm seeing a lot of fish in the backside of the weeds, and that's been the case the last couple of weeks. So I'm still sticking with that. I'll have some blow-ups in this video, fishing that back edge of the weed line. I've been fishing the front of the weed line with some chatterbaits and some jerk baits. Might slow down and throw some jigs, maybe even a Senko, but this video is mostly going to be me rocking this Pop Max. I'm throwing it on one of my Cabela's Tournament ZX rods. This has kind of been my workhorse topwater rod for a few years. This is a 6'9", medium moderate, kind of a jerk bait slash topwater rod. I have two of these kind of rods. This is the one I usually go with because I really like this Shimano Chronoc reel. The drag on this is really good when I'm pulling them out of the milfoil. And I'm running 15-pound copolymer line. I like a little heavier copolymer line fishing these really thick milfoil lakes because the fish like to go down into the milfoil, and with this line you can kind of rip it out, and this copolymer likes to just slice through the milfoil. And very, very strong line. I've fished some very big fish out of some very thick milfoil with this 15-pound. This is the Isoline XXX you can get off eBay. Fished some very big fish out of some very thick cover and never broke the line. I've broken knots that I didn't tie so great, or I should have retied, but the line itself has been a champ. I've even pulled some pretty nasty pike out of some pretty nasty fixed up with this line. It's been awesome. So this is kind of my main go-to topwater setup. Let's get some action today, and hope you enjoy the video. Thanks. There we go. Don't pitch it. There we go. You gulf that. Boom. Oh, there we go. Ski him in here. Man, you hit that. Just gotta hit that like a truck. There we go. Right. Get over here. Get out of the way. Yeah. Yeah. Took a while, but got one on the Pop Max. Oh, back down. Alright, so I'm going to talk a little bit about actually fishing this bait. I like to work weed lines in kind of 3 stages: the outside, the inside, and the back. Right now I'm working the outside to the middle. The best place to fish poppers is usually anytime you see something poking out of the top. So over here we got the top of some milfoil poking out. So if you can see weeds, that's the place to throw a popper. You're going to be ringing fish up that are down in the thick stuff. You're going to be getting a combination of fish that are kind of roaming around and just kind of happen upon your bait as they're swimming, and you're going to also annoy some holding fish. So sometimes you can throw it in the same spot a couple of times, and I've seen it visually where a fish will kind of nose up to it and look. And if you can get a fish that's interested visually, sometimes having polarized sunglasses fishing shallow, this will work. But if you get a fish that's interested, you can usually coax them into biting. So if you throw your popper in and you wiggle it around and a fish is not interested and just kind of swims away, that's not one you're going to get. They're just saying whatever. But if you get one that kind of noses at it and checks it out and follows it, throw it right back at that same fish. I've had casts where I've thrown it probably about 5-6 times at that fish, and it'll follow it, not bite, follow it, not bite, and after a couple casts it'll get annoyed enough where it'll take a swipe at it. So having polarized sunglasses helps quite a bit fishing poppers, especially if you're really shallow or if you're in a clear lake. Poppers are also great on points, especially early in the morning or at dusk. I tend to use it as kind of a close combat bait in the thick milfoil and cabbage shallow. It's a great bait to kind of call them up, and if you're not sure how to fish some really thick weeds, frogs and poppers are good tools to have. There we go. That feels better. Oh, that's a good one. Here's a good one. Keep him back. Come on, baby. No. Get up here. Yeah, there we go. Whew. That's a good one. Hey, big guy. Oh yeah, that's better. Ooh, didn't have him look very good. Just the one hook. Yeah. I'm guessing he's like a 3. Three. 0.4. All right. Whoa, slow down here. Okay. All right. Put him back. Nice. 3-pounder on the Megabass Pop Max. If you can, a general rule of thumb with the popping baits is, if you can hear your popper and it's making a sploosh noise that you can audibly hear, you're doing it right, you're fishing it correctly. If you're moving it and shaking it and you're getting a little splash but you're not hearing anything, get more aggressive. If you hear that bloop or pop or whatever, or you even hear the rattle, you're doing it right. Poppers are not subtle. You need to make a bunch of racket. And the pause is very important. This particular lake, the bass always seem to take a swipe at it on the pause. These baits, you can walk them consistently, but I found that they almost always hit when it's still. Walking the bait in the wind is usually more effective.